What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install rockers and push rods on this LS1 5.3. I'll try to go over in some detail with torque specs and stuff like that, how I find top dead center with the heads on, etc. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to start with putting push rods in, and the ones I'm going with are these Melling engine parts, NPR 614 for the 5.3. And previously I've already sprayed them out with brake clean and whatnot to make sure that there's no debris or whatever from the factory left in there, so we should be good. I'm gonna put a little assembly lube. This is a lifesaver when you're building motors, especially if it's gonna sit for a minute like mine. Mine's probably gonna sit through the winter, sadly, because I'm gonna be working through trying to get the transmission and stuff done. So just a light coat. Don't need a lot. Oh, bam. All right, so I'm trying to break this down as Barney style as I can, because not everyone watching this is going to be a pro, right? We all start somewhere. So for the first set of torque sequence to 22 foot-pounds for these, I have written it down: exhaust 1, 2, 7, and 8, intake 1, 3, 4, and 5. So hopefully I'm making it simple enough. And if I lift the tape here, I even numbered it, so if you wanted to like stop and screenshot it, front of the motor, front of the motor's here, so then it's your 1, 3, 5, 7. Also, some guys that don't know, the way you can tell your exhaust and your intake is because your exhaust rocker and spring and valve lines up with the exhaust hole. Okay, intake, same with here, exhaust, and so on. And some of y'all might think it's crazy or whatever, but not everyone's a pro, and sometimes this is someone's first time doing something like this. So I'm trying to break it down and be as detailed as I can. Make sure you put your little rail in here before, of course, you put your rockers on. I just got these in now. I'm gonna suck them down in and then go down to torque them to 22 foot-pounds. All right, and then it's gonna be a 5/16 for the head of these. And I also forgot to tell you, you gotta make sure that cylinder 1 is at top dead center, okay? Now, before I put these heads on, I already made it top dead center and put a mark on there. So then I kind of know where my top dead center is for the future, or just at least a rough estimate. But what you can do is you can stick a light or something down in here in the spark plug hole and watch the piston come up, or even stick a welding rod in there. And when it rotates, when it's at its highest, that'll be your top dead center for number 1. And you got to do that before you torque any of these rockers down, okay? So I'm gonna set you up. We'll get this all tightened down, and then we'll start torquing. All right, so here we go. 22 foot-pounds, 5/16 socket. right, now with everything torqued for the first sequence here, you're gonna wanna take your mark, or however you know top dead center is, and you're gonna wanna rotate it 360 degrees around before you put on all the other rockers and torque those down, okay? All right, and also one thing I want to go over with you guys when you guys are trying to set up these rockers. Again, if you're a pro, then you shouldn't be watching this video anyways. But notice on your rocker here, you have a flat spot, and you can turn it around. Well, this one you can't. Some of them, like roller rockers, you can turn it all the way around. These are just stock, so it's not able to. You always want to make sure that your arch here is going into your little bar or bracket there. Just pay attention to it, because I've seen people put them on backwards. So all right, guys, so there you go. There's just a quick video on how to do these rockers and push rods and whatnot for this LS1, for the dually, of course. Like I said, some might be like, oh, this is common knowledge. Oh, you don't need to write down every number for every cylinder. Well, some people are new to this. We all started day one somewhere, you know? So I want to make videos to help people. But again, since I'm going with stock stuff, MPR 614, Melling engine parts, made in the USA. Your first round of torquing will be exhaust 1, 2, 7, and 8, and your intake side 1, 3, 4, and 5. And once you do that to 22 foot-pounds, you'll rotate after your motor's already top dead center, right? Torque it to 22 foot-pounds. Rotate your crank 360 degrees, and then you can put on the remainder of the rockers, torque those down to 22 foot-pounds, and you should be pretty close. This is just a good starting point for when you're trying to just go sit it in the truck. Of course, when you start it, you might have to play with it a little bit, take some feeler gauges, etc. and whatnot, and play with it. Every motor is different. I know a lot of them pretty much have the same reading no matter what. But I've had some that read a little bit different, run a little bit better at a different feeler gauge. But this is a good starting point to get you at least put together so you can start your truck or car, whichever you want. I need to order some of these new hardware pieces so I can put my valve covers on. I just painted these black with some engine paint, enamel, 600 degrees. All right. So once I get that hardware in, we'll put these on. And some other little tips and numbers for you guys, if you guys are wondering what I'm using. I went with the GM Genuine 126811275 part number for stock rockers. If you want the Melling, which is kind of like a step up, a lot of people swear by Melling. I've been using a lot of their parts for this. It's MR1341. It's just a step up for, you know, your LS1. I'm just going stock because we're not going to be pushing any crazy horsepower, you know. I just want it to be a good daily driver where I can take it to work and back, which would be kind of cool. And before I end the video, we'll show some love of the truck. Since I finally got this other fender on and mounted, and whatnot. And like I said before, I think a lot of mine on the old one here, the studs there were all rusted out, right? So I just took my grinder and cut through all of them. And then with this one, I drilled out each hole there. I drilled out each one with a 3/8 bit. And then I just took 3/8 all thread and glued them down into each hole. So now all the hardware for the dually fender is 3/8 hardware. See, it looks pretty good now. Here's the truck as she sits now. Give you guys a little peek, you know. Okay, so there you guys go. Pretty quick video, I know, but how to do and set up your rockers and push rods, at least for the LS1, to get you in the ballpark to start your motor. So thank you for watching my video. Drop a like. Remember, it's free for you. It's great for me, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.